Okay. So, I was holding the camcorder in between my legs. Like, I was putting it in my lap. And it kept hitting the record button. Because the record button is on the back of it. And I didn't realize that. You see, this is why people should make stuff. It's just for the fuck of it, you know? For fun. For fun. We like to have funsies, okay? Now, I get that there's artistic stuff that you can do with cameras. I get that. But I feel like it's going to be way more artistic if you don't care about it being artistic. I feel like there's a level of pretentiousness about that. Like, I love Wes Anderson a lot, but his stuff is kind of annoying because it's so artistic, you know? I mean, I think it's really well done. I think he's really layered. Like, his stories have so many different elements to them that make them everything that they are. But at the same time, there's a reason why it's only hipsters that enjoy his stuff, okay? But yeah, I brushed my hair. Isn't it not that much better than not brushing my hair? My hair doesn't have that much volume to it. I probably should brush it again. But it looked really, really good when I brushed it the first time. It looked like really poofy. It has way more volume to it if I sleep on it for some reason. But I just watched the last Waltz, the Martin Scorsese directed concert of the band and their final concert. And it's just so good. I realize that I always cry when I hear a saxophone. Because I'm just so in awe of anybody that can play an instrument. And so, you know, naturally, I was crying throughout most of that concert. Because they were just incredibly talented musicians and they didn't have an ego about what they were doing. They all just thoroughly enjoyed playing music together. And I was thinking about the stuff that I do, and I know it's not good. That's why I call it piano punk. Okay, punk, much like comedy. I feel like people would probably consider it to be like the lesser of all of the musical genres. But, you know, I feel like for people that really, really appreciate music, there are certain bands and there are certain musicians that you like have to be into. Because like, I know a lot of musicians that don't like the Grateful Dead, but that doesn't mean that they don't appreciate what they did and what all they were accomplishing at the time. Even if the majority of inspiration that the Grateful Dead had was, you know, inspiring people to smoke more pot. But they're still good musicians, though. Like, just because you don't like somebody's music doesn't make them any less of a musician. It just means that you don't prefer their musical style that they have chosen. But they do, you know? But I give myself an out with the piano punk. That's why I say it's not music, it's punk, okay? But What if you just said that about any music that's bad? You know, I guess you could say that about, you know, anything that's not good, that's in, like an art form. You could be like, oh no, it's comedy, and then it would be excusable because comedy can be anything, including not funny. So a lot of what makes comedy is the fact that you don't know if you're allowed to laugh at it or not. And I don't think that this is just true about today's era, but I think that people have always been skittish when it comes to allowing themselves to feel something. And laughter is definitely a way to feel. It's a socially acceptable way to feel. Can you imagine if you just had like a tragedy show? I mean, you could also argue that that's comedy. Didn't Chance do that? Yeah, he did. He did. And this dude, Chance Willie, he went on tour with Theo Von, so like I'm proud of him for taking it to the next level. But he's really talented, but he's also like bipolar or whatever. We had a really great conversation about Carl Jung, and we talked about Christianity and schizophrenia and like how we deal with our mental illness through God. And it's pretty cool. He's a very, very talented person who is kind of fucked up in the head. But what I'm referring to is, I guess other people told me about this. I didn't see this myself, but when they told me about it, I thought it was really funny. But none of these other comics thought it was funny. But apparently, like, he went to some open mic and was just, like, crying. And the comics were mad because he had, you know, all these opportunities. Because I think he has a regular spot at Zany's. Yeah, he had these other opportunities. And they just saw it as like, he was spitting in the face of all these other comics. Like, I'm gonna use this 4 minutes and cry on stage. But here's the thing, that's his time though. He can do whatever the hell he wants. If he waits in line and he's like paid his dues, why is that wrong for him? Why is that wrong for him? I mean, I believe in that. Like, if you sign your name on the list and you are an artist, I mean, even if you're not funny, and even if like you just get up there and like get on your fucking soapbox like I've seen so many people from Los Angeles do, okay? If that's allowed, then you really can say and do whatever you want. That's why I'm opposed to censorship, you know? Like, people need a place where they can just be free and they're not stuck in these confines of the real world, which isn't too real if you ask me. So, I don't know. I support him crying on stage. Maybe that's just because I understand it. I get his mindset more than I don't. But I think they're just jealous of his opportunities. And I see that a lot with comics. Like, they can pretend that they're supportive, but it's very, very rare to find somebody that truly supports you. You know? Because like I said, it's always a pissing contest. And a lot of these people have to fake it and drink a bunch of beer and coffee and tea. But yours truly doesn't, because yours truly has natural, unlimited urine.